Hey all, I just kind of wanted to do a follow-up, part two if you will, on the HoBao Truggy SSARR. What I've encountered with what I did. I didn't shoot any video as I was going because I wanted to get it done because tomorrow is a potential race day, not an official race, just something to go out and practice, and I wanted to kind of get things ready as best as I could. So anyway, that's my paint scheme. As you can see, it's pretty nice. Made some mistakes, but it looks good otherwise. But let's get to the important part regarding ARR. Let me take the top off. And again, I'm doing this one-handed. There we go. Okay. So, a couple of things that I noticed. First of all, those are all my electronics. I decided to put in my tack-on motor, my 2000 kV tack-on motor instead of the Castle motor. It's what I had in my Apache, and since I'm no longer using my Apache, I figured I'd pull all the electronics out of my Apache and put it into this one, because the Apache was a beast, but it's just a matter of I just wasn't using it anymore because I can't find parts, and it's kind of, I have parts of this, parts of that, so I kind of wanted to just kind of retire it, if you will. So I have my Mamba Castle ESC going to my tack-on 2000 kV motor. It's all being controlled by my Spectrum receiver and remote. Things I noticed while I was putting this together. The motor went together well. To put in the ESC, that was very easy. To get in the Spectrum servo was a little difficult because the space is so tight that it was a tight fit, but I got it in. It just took a little bit of patience. And great alignment, and it went in really nice. One of the big problems I had was right here with the sealed receiver box. As you can see, I've had to put my glitch buster on the outside because there's literally no space in here. My receiver is going from this end that's curved in all the way to this end where it's curved here. So there's literally no space in there, and it's just placed in there because I couldn't even get glue. I couldn't do anything. So it's a very limited space in there. So that was one thing that I had to contend with. So if you have a larger receiver box, it may not work in this particular model. Also, the toe-in, the camber, everything in the front was really bad. In the front, I still probably have some adjusting to do, but one of the things is in this area here. Let me see if I can get here where there's more light. Okay, here, this here. There's two positions that you can put it in. They move it into the closer position. So your camber's awful. You got to make sure you remove that, put it out to where it should be, and then that takes care of the camber pretty well. However, like I said, the alignment is just awful. I mean, they were just going in two total different directions. Shock-wise, I didn't change oil or anything because I want to see how it runs. But I did find I had to kind of tighten down the tension here, so that way it stays a little more lifted. It was a little too flat for me. I like for the front axles to be a little more than flat. As you can see, probably better in the back. I like them to be just a little more than flat, so that way you can take jumps and everything else. Now, again, once I get to use it, I'll let you know better. Issues with tires. To put them on, not a big deal, but what I did find is some of these rims in the shipping are not perfectly round. They've got an ovalness to them, so I had to heat them up and round them out the best I could with a hair dryer or a heat gun is what I used. And then I was able to round them out and get them on a little better, but if you look at them very carefully, some of them are still a little oval, but like I said, they're in much better shape than they were. Everything else went on nice and smooth. It was just a slow process, just making sure that everything worked. I had to run my wires. Like I said, because of limitations and certain things, I had to run my wires differently. So as you can see, I have it coming out of the ESC to the support. On the support, I hot glued it down, as well as hot glue mounted the switch. Come across here, hot glue mounted down the wire just to make sure it maintains the right distance. This is here because there's a sensor, there's a wire for a sensor that's there that I just wanted to keep it wrapped so it wouldn't get tangled in anything. and then I have it connecting here, and as you can see here on this little little bit there, I put a little bit of hot glue there just to make sure that the clip doesn't slip out while driving. I did need to change out the servo horn that came with it. The servo horn did not fit on the head of the Spectrum receiver, so I used one of the ones that came with the Spectrum, and I just swapped this out, and it was pretty easy. Something else that kind of caught me off guard, and it took me just a second, is if you notice on the turnbuckles up here, it's where you can use a wrench to adjust, make adjustments. However, here, and even on the back, as you can see here, it's not a wrench. You have to put in an Allen key and do turns from there. So you basically insert an Allen key into the hole and then turn according to your adjustments that you need. And once I got used to it, it wasn't bad. But initially it threw me off because I'm so used to just using the wrench I have, and it just felt like I was learning again. But after a few seconds, I picked it up, no big deal. Everything else seemed very easy to do. So again, I just tightened down all the springs because I just thought that it was just sitting too flat, and I just made those few adjustments. Other than that, everything else looks good. The wing went on nice and easy. The tires feel decent. I don't know if they're any good or not, but they feel decent. They're kind of like blockades. And I've been putting a 4S battery to do my testing. I didn't try any of my 6S in there today, but I'll probably put in some more 4S, and if I get the chance to run it tomorrow, I'll see if I can catch some video. Just wanted to show you what was going on, and I hope you guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.